intersectionality, how does that kind of consider identities? I think that that's important. So if you can.
Yeah, so I think in intersectionality, it's really thinking about, right, the power imbalances. And so that's one way of looking at it, but it's essentially, what are all the multiple hats, faces, identities that we have, because that impacts our lived experience. And so, right, for me, you see me as a Latina, I am brown, I am very short, I am curvy, but then you don't see the fact that I have learning disabilities, you don't see the fact that I suffer from chronic illness, you don't see all these other things, yet that impacts my lived reality, and that then impacts how I walk into a room, physically or presenting. And so with intersectionality, it's really tied into inclusivity because, right, there's so much, I think, in the world that we live in, right? Ben Shapiro's always tweeting some horrible, silly thing, I was about to use curse words, but I'm not, silly thing about intersectionality being horrible, but it's because intersectionality has somehow equal diversity, which also diversity isn't horrible at all. But intersectionality is really thinking about how are our lived experiences different? And with that, I think it's important to say it's more than just what we see. And I think that is the critical part when we're working with each other. And I know empathy is a question, so I don't want to jump ahead, but like, right, you don't know everything that a person brings into a room. You don't know everything that a person has and those lived experiences that they can't just, right, there's the hidden ones, but there's also the ones that are very visible that has impacted how they move in this world and what has, you know, how complicated their life has been and everything they've had to go through.
Absolutely, and Ivonne, I think that from a perspective of